in and out.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about your football program, and I want to start with this past season. And you were one of 2 teams in the country that played 12 regular season games. You're the only one that did so without a single in-season interruption in the schedule. What did it take to pull that off?
Yeah, it's like, where do you begin? The thing that I was so proud of this team and really our athletic training staff with Jeremy Cobb and Will DeCrane was just the line of communication. In these times, in unprecedented times, you have to communicate. And every single person in our facility was communicating on a daily basis and on the new CDC guidelines and really just the line of dialogue between the medical professionals and our athletic training staff and how we educate our student athletes. And you talked to them before the season, you didn't know if you're going to play every single game, and you told the kids to listen to everything that Jeremy Cobb and Will DeCrane put into place, and if you do that, we're going to be able to play an entire football season, and that's what we did. And you got to give the kids credit because it's tough times on everybody, and we were fortunate enough to play 12 games because we needed to get as much valuable game experience as we possibly could for a young team like we currently have and a brand new team.
You look at the results, 2-10, not what anybody would have wanted. It was 1 win fewer than you had the year before. But did you see progress from year 1 to year 2 under your watch?
I did. When we knew that this year was going to be a freeze of eligibility. So again, we needed to get as much valuable experience as we possibly could. You go into the season with New Mexico State and Ohio on your schedule, and you end up, they end up dropping us from their schedule, and you pick up BYU and Boston College, 2 really good teams, and it was fortunate for us to gain some valuable experience for some very good, opponents, and that's always going to pay huge dividends for us. In the game of football, and especially being a young team, you got to play and build continuity and go through those game-like experiences, because that's the only way that we're going to get better. And I thought we approached it, and every single week we never backed down. We constantly fought, and it's going to pay off dividends for our program in the future. Due to all the exposure as well, played in a lot of national TV games, which allowed us to kind of hit that transfer market early, which is what really every single team in the country is doing right now for this first period of time. Yeah, you go through, you talk about, the kids entering the transfer portal. A lot of people don't really understand how the transfer portal works. And with us, it's, a lot of those kids were walk-ons that were actually looking to transfer to a lower level division and an opportunity to play. A lot of our kids transferred down because they wanted to play they wanted to play at a different level. And with that kind of being said, in the transfer portal, it opens up a lot of spots for a lot of other people to come here on our roster. And the transfer portal has been kind of an interesting topic, but it allows us to at least bring in a quality, player, and the needs that we need is at the O-line and the defensive line position. So you're not going to get a developmental kid with the transfer portal. You're going to get a guy that comes in and adds to the size and the depth and should be ready to play immediately.
You look at the campus here at Texas State, the San Marcos community. You have a beautiful campus at Texas State. You have the quad, there on campus. Here in San Marcos, you have so many things that are appealing. You have, you have the river, you have the outlet malls, you have great nightlife here. So given all these things, what is it that you try to sell recruits on the most when you're selling Texas State and San Marcos? Yeah,
that's all those things that you just said is really what we sell like our student athletes on, that we want here to come and be a part of our program. The hardest part right now is that you can't get them here on campus. So word of mouth is really the #1 thing that we can do right now. Now, we have been, because the game is changing constantly, we have now got into like the virtual tour world. And our director of player personnel, Connor Anderson, has done a great job and is really kind of ahead of the times in terms of getting a lot of video footage and drone footage of our beautiful campus and everything that we have to offer. And the websites are being pumped out right now, and they're pretty awesome to watch, you know, because we have a lot of things that we can sell here as a program.
You know, you look here at the stadium and you see all the conference championships, the national championships at the Division II level. This program has won before. And then you look at the Sun Belt, and the conference is only getting better. You had 3 teams that were in the top 25 at some point. Coastal Carolina got as high as 9th in the country this past season. What will it take for Texas State football to compete amongst the best in the Sun Belt and ultimately amongst the best in the Group of 5?
Yeah, it's the stay the course. I think, you know, in the 2 years that I've been here, we've increased the roster and we've changed the profile of this team. And we're getting to the point where we can compete with anybody in this league, you know, and it's all about, you know, coming in with a vision and the culture that you're trying to build and having the leadership and the type of players to come in and keep stacking days is what we always talk about. You know, when you come here and every day you wake up, you got to make yourself better and make this university better, and you just keep stacking those days. And we've stacked a lot of days in the past 2 years. And I think these kids understand that this is a really tough league that we're a part of. But, you know, they've seen that we have been competitive in almost every conference game that we play, that if we start focusing on ourselves and clean up our mistakes that we can control, we could be able to compete against any opponent that we go up against.
Good stuff, Coach. Good catching up with you.
All right, you too, Brian. It's good seeing you.